Hello all! Oh, it has been a bonkers weekend. And I just minimized things I needed. Is it nap time yet? Well, it is Monday. Oh, yep. That still has volume on it. It was much louder than I thought. My phone was talking back at me. Okay, so, yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy weekend. We had NorwestCon, which a couple days were super slow. It is a much smaller convention, and traffic was rough. And one of the days was really good. Like, all our games went off, and had somebody actually come in, read through a role-playing game they'd never seen before, learn the system, and prep a campaign, or prep a one-shot for his friends, which anytime anybody does that is awesome. And then the bulk of our staff was at SakuraCon, and we did something we've never done before. So we partnered with Lethal Shadows. They are a local miniatures company. And I've talked about their paintbrushes before. So they gave us a great discount on the brushes, and if somebody donates at an event, somebody donates $15 or more, they can get one of their brushes, which is what they sell their brushes for. They're an actual aluminum brush that you can screw the top off and replace the tips. So if you're tired of always, you've got a brush that you like, and then, the tip's dead, and you're like, oh, look, I have good tips again, but I don't like this brush style, or whatever. Well, this kind of solves that. They've got two different tips. They've got a 0 and a 1, so they're great for miniatures. And they're building on everything out. But they also partnered with us, and we took 550 miniatures to SakuraCon to do a paint and take. And 502 seats were filled. So, pretty awesome. Had a lot of I wasn't at SakuraCon. I was at NorwestCon. Man, I should have gone to SakuraCon. But I try to send the right people to the right places, and as much as I would have had fun at SakuraCon, I didn't want to send anybody else to NorwestCon that wasn't gonna have a fun time there. Got some last minute ads in our Discord. Not ads like advertisements. We got some last minute, some late library news stuff. Ooh, so let me do something fun real quick. While I do this, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to add some more things to the stream before we get started on all the cool stuff. Where did it go? Let's see. And let's see. The 550 miniatures, like I said, 502 were actually painted. And we had people that had painting backgrounds come and help people paint when we could. So I really hope that we get some more like something that we can do again in the future, because I think it was a really awesome thing. Just the cost on it is very prohibitive for us. Because even, like somebody like Lethal Shadows, they're a very small company, so they can't afford to just give away 500 models, even though, they're getting, somebody's walking home with their model and information on how to get a hold of them to buy new models, everything. Which is nice, but it's not necessarily cost effective for such a small company. It's I mean, they're literally like three people that are working full-time jobs and still cranking out miniatures at a breakneck speed. And I'm very impressed with the quality of their miniatures. So they have multiple artists that design minis with them. So all the artists are paid, per item, which is really cool. I like how they run their company, and they really do care about the artists that they work with. Let's see. Okay, we got some new stories. One of the stories was one I already had pulled up. A couple others are new, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. So, first things first. I'm just going to show it real quick. We got a bunch of new books this weekend, but this is the only one I happen to have with me. We did get Kendo Koala from Chris Shepperson. That was his Zine Quest edition this year, which I took it to NorwestCon with me. It's already packed into the library, and people read through it this weekend already. So if you're watching, Chris, people have already read through Kendo Koalas. So this is Badass Bunnies. This is for Mutant Crawl Classics, and you're playing the Badass Bunnies, which are kind of the villains, and going, taking on good guys. So this is kind of a reverse dungeon-esque thing, and super. I like when people do that. It doesn't happen enough. If you can play a reverse dungeon, do it. It's so much fun. The other thing this weekend was we got if Lackey can put them into the chat down below, the things that were added this weekend, the kittens thing. Oh man, and it was funny because things that got added to the library that went to SakuraCon. It was funny because SakuraCon, an anime convention, had people at a sci-fi and fantasy convention going, "Oh man, I'm looking forward to playing that." And I'm like, "Well, we have a copy, but it's somewhere else." So we hopefully, as we continue to grow, we definitely need to get more copies of stuff. So, Magical Kitties save the day. Yes. Quest for Yore, the setting from Pixar movie Onward. Yes, that was the other. Yeah. The Magical Kitties save the day just cracked me up that I saw it when we were loading everything up, and it was going out to SakuraCon, and got asked about it multiple times at NorwestCon, which kind of cracks me up. Okay, let's get into some awesome things that are going on within the industry. Some of you might call it news, but I just call it awesome stuff happening in the industry. And awesome doesn't necessarily mean good, doesn't necessarily mean bad either. Just means awesome. Makes you go, aww. Let's see, the first draft of the Orc license ready for public comment. Okay, I do want as many people out there to take a look at the OpenRPG stuff. This is awesome. This is a really cool thing moving forward. So I'm gonna put this in the link or in the chat because this is super duper important for everybody. Please take a look at it. Everything says draft only, feedback requested. Now remember, when you're making feedback and suggestions, this is a generic open thing. This isn't a specific license, and that's where some people will get confused because if you look at Paizo with their Pathfinder stuff, originally it was released under the OGL, and you could use all their that you could use the OGL stuff, but you couldn't use specific Pathfinder things. If you wanted to use specific Pathfinder things, you had to go into a licensing agreement with Paizo for that. And they're very restrictive, and as they should be, because that is their actual IP. The setting, the characters, all that. So don't get too deep into, oh, we need to have this or this, so there can't be this involved. There can't be this. The orc here is, this is a wide, generic, open license to be able to share the core contents of your work. Meaning, like, the mechanics. That way, somebody doesn't have to go, oh, hey, I really like how this mechanic is, and they won't have to totally rewrite it to do the exact same thing. They can use the rule or mechanic that you created under these terms, and give you, say, hey, I'm releasing my thing under the orc, and I got these things from these projects also released under the orc, which is a great way to build out the industry. It prevents people from just beating each other up in court, which was one of the downfalls of the industry in the 90s. So remember that when you're looking through this. This is to help share the core mechanics, not specific licensing. So, probably going to read through this tonight. It came out over the weekend. Between working events and not feeling 100% and almost destroying my knee, this is the first time I've actually pulled this open. So I will read this later tonight after I send off about 400 other emails. Okay. This is a sponsored story on their website. I do love that some websites got really bad about that back, about 10 years ago. You wouldn't see sponsored, or there'd be like a little note way down here. It would say sponsored, or you'd come back 3 weeks later, and then it would say sponsored to that. But Vampire the Masquerade Chapters is coming May 26th, so not too far off. Highly anticipated narrative-driven cooperative board game. So, not necessarily role-playing game. It is a board game, but it is, a lot of what people play within role-playing games is a cooperative, almost board game-esque thing. So this is, if you have people that are interested in playing role-playing games, find a game like this. Vampire might not be up your alley, but it could be. This could be the perfect choice. Pick this and get people playing. All of this, it says, in an unforgettable story-driven adventure, merging the best elements of modern narrative board gaming with tabletop RPG, resulting in a new RPG-in-a-box campaign experience. So think of this as a, kind of a one-shot, or, you may be able to bring it out into a short campaign or something. And it's a great way to get people that aren't into playing role-playing games. They're like, role-playing games aren't my thing. Well, hey, you want to play a board game? Ha-ha! And they're playing this, and then all of a sudden, this is just like, if it's like, are you enjoying this? Do you want to continue? Then you pull out, Vampire the Masquerade and continue playing the RPG. So we'll see if we can reach out to, this should be from Renegade. It's from Lion Rampart Imports. Have to reach out to them, see if we can get a copy. This one, super duper excited about. So I have a lot of friends that love Twilight Imperium. I enjoy Twilight Imperium, but I hate how long it takes. Coming from somebody that loves role-playing games. But last year when I was at Shucks, the Shut Up, Sit Down gaming thing, April 28th. So last year at Shucks up in Canada, there was a group that came in. They were the first table to sit down, and right before the close of the day, they were done with one game of Twilight Imperium. I've seen games last even longer, but I mean, the show was open. They opened early in the morning and they closed late. I mean, it was bonkers. So yeah. So Twilight Imperium releases later this month. I hadn't heard anything about this. It's coming from Edge Studios, so they're using their Genesis system. It's the same system that their Star Wars was using, and they turned it into a generic system. They have Genesis. They've got some other things that use it, and super duper cool. It's a really cool universe that I know some people are going to be excited about to just tinker around in the world, because as little info is there that's included in the box of the board game. You just want to know more, and you want to read and experience more about all the different races and factions in this game, and this is a great way to do it. And this one's cool because this one kind of just came out of left field. Like, I wasn't expecting this one at all. And I don't know anybody over at Edge Studios, so I have to find somebody to Edge Studios. And according to Lackey, April 28th is the release date for Twilight Imperium. It's the Embers of the Imperium comes out on the 28th of this month. I gotta hang out on their Edge Studios website more often. And so Chaosium has been working on their basic role-playing universal game engine for quite some time, and Friday? Yeah, I think it was Friday. This was added and updated. So the most recent version and updates and everything to their basic role-playing universal game engine is out in PDF form. I've got to see if we can get a hold of Chaosium to find the physical forms of it. And like, this literally just hit the market on Friday as all of our events started off. So what's inside? Basic role-playing universal game engine. So Berg. Because you got GURPS, generic universal role-playing. It's a complete guide to BRP, the same system that powers Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Rivers of London, and countless others, which is super awesome. So if you like anything Chaosium's putting out right now, this is their core. This is the core of their system. So basically, they've put out their core system and said, "Hey, run with it. See where you can go. Make some awesome stuff." And a lot of people really like it. I don't know anybody that's got any complaints against it. I mean, nothing major. There's always gripes like, should have used a D12 here instead of a D6, or no, it should have been 3D6 instead of 1D12. I always love that argument, because I always say my favorite single dice system is a D12, and then people are like, oh, what about a 3D6? Because you have a nice bell curve. And I was like, what if I don't want a bell curve? What if I'm literally talking about single die systems? Okay. Free RPG Day reschedules 2023 celebration to escape Shadow of Magic the Gathering's Lord of the Rings set, which I don't think is going to be as awesome as everybody thinks, but it is a huge deal. So this year's Free RPG Day will happen a week later than originally planned in order to avoid coinciding with what's expected to be a massive Magic the Gathering set release. Magic's taken some big hits the last couple years. But, I mean, it's still... Magic the Gathering is still considerably larger than basically the entire tabletop role-playing game business. Because in 2021, Wizards of the Coast brought in $980 million, and $670 million of it was Magic, and then the rest was everything else. And if you think D&D is like 80 something odd percent of the tabletop role playing industry, and if D&D is only a fraction of what Magic is, I'll have to say it was probably a smart idea to move the free RPG day. Now, the library will have a cool ad. We worked with Ninth Level Games. They always put out their they put out a really cool booklet each year for the last few years of some really cool, like, one-page RPGs or little additions to RPGs. And Free RPG Day now coincides with Origins Game Fair, which actually that could be really cool. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, Origins is good size, but it's not going to steal people away from their local stores because, I mean, most gamers can't get to most game conventions. It is funny for us because we tend to hit events and forget that we it's like, oh, we're not normal people. It's like, oh, you didn't go to 17 gaming conventions last year. That's right. You're a normal human. So it is really smart. So, where'd my mouse go? I lost my mouse. There it is. So June 24th is when the Free RPG Day is. And we will mark that on our calendars because I'm super excited. And I can't wait to get my hands on the thing coming out from Ninth Level Games. I need to get a hold of them. Haven't talked to them in a while. Let's see. D&D monster manual that wants to help save real-life animals from extinction. Aw, that's adorable. Book of Extinction lets you include animals wiped out by humanity in your RPG campaigns. I'll be honest, I always hate the term wiped out by humanity. Did we help? Yes. But were we the only reason? Not necessarily. Because most of the animals that have disappeared thanks to thanks to humanity were already species that were on the decline. Or they were a very specific, like the dodo. It was on the decline and it lived on one island. Humans did not help. But without humans, the dodo wouldn't have survived a whole lot longer. See, a new book for Dungeons & Dragons 5e hopes to help stop real-life animals from vanishing by letting you include extinct creatures in your campaigns. And I think this is really awesome. Book of Extinction is a bestiary for 5th edition, similar to D&D's iconic monster manual. Is there a link to where this is at? Oh, it is currently live on Kickstarter. See, and I was just searching Kickstarter, and this didn't come up. I get frustrated because Kickstarter, you search role-playing game, or you search RPG, or TTRPG, and something like this doesn't come up, even though it should. Okay. We got one more news story that I'm going to cover before we go into Kickstarters. So I'll get back to that. Because I do want to go in deeper into that, because I like saving critters. Let's see. Break is an absolutely stunning fantasy RPG inspired by Zelda and Ghibli. A decade in the making. Let's see. I love the blue crocodile. Let's see. A gorgeous fantasy RPG inspired by classic video games and anime is finally launching on Kickstarter to crowdfund its release over... If this is... This one didn't come up in my... Okay, that's why. Because I don't look at the... So... I don't look at the stuff that's not launched yet. Well, I mean, I do. I just don't share them. I don't share things until they go live, typically. But, see, despite its now non-OGL rules, the current evolution of the RPG still retains the 20-sided die familiar with D&D at its heart. Players hope to roll their D20 under aptitude checks, and under, based on the ability scores such as Mighty, Grit, and Insight, defined by their character's calling. The game's class equivalent includes Magical Sage, Roguelite Sneaks, Everyday Factoriums, Heretics, Raiders, Champions, and both Battle Princesses and Marauder Princesses. Combat is also kept simple, with hits and damage combined into a single roll. Characters move between a series of zones defined by the GM during fights, defining their range. Using a basic distance and engagement system, characters heal between fights, meaning no need for resting. Sounds kind of nifty. And these are all things that are, if you're trying to make a Legend of Zelda or other JRPG console feeling game, those are actually really good things to nail. If you want that grittiness that you're going to get with Dungeon Crawl Classics or some of the other OSR stuff or old school D&D, everybody is paper thin and dies at the wink of an eye. Well, that's not what you're looking for something like this. So, looks nice, like what they have so far, and can't wait to see it go live on Kickstarter. Let's see. So let's get it. So for all those that don't want to view Kickstarter stuff, I know there's a few that tune in, and this is your warning. Let's see. So, Book of Extinction. Let's see, and this has been up for a while. I have searched a bunch, and this has not come up in my searches. So, Mage Hand Press. You even know those. Okay, so real, revived, reimagined. Here's what's inside. 130 plus mythic monsters, over 70 real extinction stories, last of their kind player races, revolutionary take on classic monsters, new nature-inspired subclasses, The Last Owlbear, a table-ready adventure. Oh, that's cool. I like owlbears. See. Look at the pins. Oh, I like the wooden. I don't know if they're actually wooden dice or if they just look wood. Let's see. The stories in the book are real. The Book of Extinction is one of the only D&D somebody forgot an S, to be carefully fact-checked by a science consultant, generously provided by the Center of Biological Diversity, to feature insight from dozens of interviews with experts and to include hundreds of factual citations from primary sources. Educational monsters. Kids learn best when they discover the answers for themselves. It's fairly true. That's why I retained as much information as I did. My parents were always like, I don't know, you go find out. And they just, I remember, reading the dictionary and the encyclopedias. And when I stopped asking for, fantasy books and sci-fi books and asked, whenever it wasn't a comic book coming through the store that I wanted to read, I was asking for, academic books. Was not a normal child. Encounter the magical creatures inspired by these vanishing species, from dodos of the Feywild to saber-tooth were-tigers. That's kind of cool. The Book of Extinction captures these moments in history with a uniquely mythic approach, perfect for fantasy storytelling. Great Auroch, the Ocean Master. Passenger Pigeon, the Feathered Tide. Thyselin? I don't know how that's pronounced. The Ghost Tiger. Our environmental pledge. Due to Kickstarter's policies, we can't promise to raise funds or to donate to charity or cause. However, we intend to donate 10% of our post-Kickstarter sales to Center for Biodiversity and other conservation organizations. That's kind of cool. Aww. Lob. Gentle giant fey folk. Core. Living statues. Primordial elf. Oh, that's kind of cool. And Paleosapien raptor folk. Some really cool stuff in this. Oh man. CR19 mountain turtle has a slow spell aura. Oh, this is some cool stuff. Okay, let's see. $35 gets you the PDFs. $80 gets you the physical books and PDFs. Let's see. $130 gets you the PDFs and the physical books, the monster cards, and extinct animal cards. Let's see. You can see. So, get you these and the animal cards. $250. You get in the educator and retailer. Let's see. $280. You get the PDFs, the physical books, the monster cards, the extinct cards, Foundry VTT, Enamel pin set 1 and pin set 2. I don't know which is 1 and 2. Wooden dice, sustainable wooden dice. And 8 Endling coasters. I don't know what the Endling coasters are. That's actually kind of cool. And see if they have the pictures of the coasters. They say something about them. There's the dice. Really cool. I super dig this. You know, doing some really cool stuff, and you know, you get a cool game that you can talk to people about, and you know, educational, and you could possibly put some funds towards a good cause. It's not like what was it? The company that you buy a pair of shoes, we give a pair of shoes away, and then you've come to find out that everyone where they were giving shoes was angry because you just put people that made shoes out of work in their area. Like, we don't need shoes. We need... So, anytime you get the altruistic sales pitch of an item, do a little due diligence. So, like with this, they're doing a very cool thing. They're making a game add-on. It's giving you some good information, as well as turning those extinct critters into cool things that you can use in the game. And they're telling you, hey, we're gonna give a percentage of our funds. And you know, it's not like the company that every pair of shoes you buy, we're gonna give a pair of shoes away thing. Which sounds great on its surface until you look into it. Let's see, RPG Adventure Shorts by Feu Games for Swords and Wizardry. Double short, single session adventures for Swords and Wizardry. Let's see. Lloyd Metcalf. I have met him somewhere. Meet too many people doing this when we go out to events. So, Cold Front and North Lord. Some really awesome artwork. So, you get 2 adventures, and, I mean, he's kept everything short and sweet. Like, hey, you know what you're getting? Sometimes, you know, we want to make fun of the short and sweet because they don't give enough, but when you have somebody that's put out the amount of material he has, and each adventure is just 4 pages long, laid out in 8.5 by 11, but have all the encounter information full, color maps, tables, everything you need to run a fun and engaging adventure. 4 pages. Huh. So $4 gets you both in PDF form. $17 gets you print and PDF. Not signed, just printed and shipped. 8 cardstock pages, no cover art prints. $20, print and sign them for me. Don't want to use your own toner? Feel better about getting mail? Want something signed? I'll print both the adventures on loose cardstock, sign the front page of both, mail them in a flat, rigid envelope. Oh, I like that. $26 gets you signed, printed, and the cover art. Which, I mean, that cover art's really cool. So, and these adventures are written using Swords and Wizardry game from Mythri Games. It is fully 1E, BX, OSE, and OSR compatible with minimal adjustments. A digital copy of the game can be found here. Or you can back their Kickstarter now, which we will go over here shortly. In fact, let's see. Boop. There we go. Swords and Wizardry, complete revised edition. 14 days to go. They're almost at $100,000. So, a tabletop RPG using the rules of original Dungeons & Dragons circa 1978. Light, easy to learn rules for a lifetime of play. See, and this is why we keep getting new editions of the big guys. Is, you know, they were like, oh, we gotta hook you in with new, and you gotta rebuy everything because we changed the rules. Let's see. Mythmere Games was founded in 2008 with its own and is owned by Matt Finth with Susie Moby. So, this is the perfect OSR RPG in my opinion. Let's see, who said that? Rogue Adventurers 5.0. 5.0 out of 5 stars. Verified purchaser. Let's see. I have played Swords and Wizardry stuff. It is a solid game, so I don't know what the revisions are going to be, but Swords and Wizardry is an Ernie Award-winning retro clone of the original 74 to 78 rules of Dungeons & Dragons, an edition usually called Original D&D or OD&D. Note that Mythmere Games isn't affiliated with Wizards Coast, the publishers and the trademark holders of D&D, and that Swords and Wizardry isn't compatible or designed to be used with modern D&D. It replicates a much older version of the D&D game. This is a complete game with rules for character generation, monsters, magic items, counter tables, the whole works. Okay, with that said, here's what you get with your pledge. The game! Dun dun dun! New version. This printing contains some revisions to earlier edition versions. The main revisions are simplification of treasure tables and a nudge upward on the experience point tables for more dangerous monsters, together with some modernization of language and several minor adjustments to bring the rules closer to line with the original D&D rules. Thanks to Will Misretta for many of these Rata suggestions. New editions also includes numbers of monsters encountered in the wilderness, as well as random castles, including encounters for dragons and giants. Hey, gotta love dragons and giants. The book and adventures contain some great new art by Del Tiegler, who designed the cover, sigil, and did several interior illustration. Oh, geez, a lot more. Ooh, whoa! 2 cover options for the print on demand. That cover's cool. Download a sample PDF, PDF fulfillment, licensing, and it's officially non-OGL. I do love that everyone is putting stuff like that in there. Let's see, we're going to release the game under a license that allows publishers to publish material for the game and reference our trademark, compatible with Swords and Wizardry. And it's funny because anybody could put that on there. Legally, you can make something compatible with something else. That's already been to court. One possible form is the Orc license, which Paizo and various other publishers are working on. So, $5 gets you the digital copy of the rulebook. Not bad. 17 gets you the digital combo pack. Gets you the rulebook, the PDF of Doom of Malachor. Solo adventure. Love solo adventures and RPGs. Gets people's juices flowing. PDF of Legacy of Blackscale Lagoon in an intro adventure. So this gets you everything you need to get yourself kind of playing and learning the rules, and get then an intro adventure to get your friends in. $25, print-on-demand copy of the rulebook. At cost, print-on-demand code for the rulebook, Drive-Thru RPG. Choose of one of two cover options, and the PDF. 28, just the adventures. So if you don't want the rules but you want the adventures, you can do that. 35, traditional printed physical book, offset printed physical copy of the rulebook, blue cover. $60 printed book and print on demand. So you get a PDF, at cost print on demand, and an offset. So you get a blue and a green cover. Let's see. And the $88 all-in pledge. So you get the PDF of the rulebook, offset printed physical copy of the rulebook, at cost print on demand code for the rulebook. Jeez, get the hiccups all of a sudden. PDF of the intro, and then you get PDFs and physical copies of both the expansions, or the adventures. So, and they are so close to $100,000. 14 days to go. I'm gonna follow this one. Swords and Wizardry is pretty cool. I dig them. This one only has a few hours left. This is a Mork board game, compatible Mork board game, and they're at almost $7,000, which I think is cool. So, Tabletops and Tentacles, name of the company, love it. So, Attack from Space. What I love about this is the art and it has that Morkborg feel about everything, but it also has the notebook art that we all, all of us older gamers grew up with. Our friends, brothers and sisters had little doodles in their notebooks, and then it also is this weird crazy conspiracy theory lover vibe. Like the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like tying strings around his frogs. And so I really love what they're doing with this book, just because there is just fun, silly art like that in here, and then just great bonkers pieces. This cover is something to marvel at. I stared at this last week after we got off air, and there's a lot going on in how simple that cover looks. I'm excited for it. So, $12 gets you the digital copy. $29 gets you the physical copy. And then $45, let's see, gets you the book plus the Attack from Space Deluxe Edition physical book, and the Morkborg Mutation Pack, which I think it was a I love this. Is the other thing I love is the Ditto Edition. The Ditto Edition is, the one that you hand to your friends, because it's not bonkers to look at, but it looks like it was done on an old Ditto machine. Yes, that's where the Ditto machine is a real thing. Look up a Ditto machine. So, if the library had some more funds right now, we would 100% put some money towards this, because I want a copy of the regular book, but I want a copy of the Ditto edition as well, because I think it's just brilliant. Let's see, 9 days to go. Nightfall Games. They use the core rules for Slay Industries 2 to make Terminator the game, which is Terminator stuff from their first movie, The T2 RPG allows you to play as a T800, and the bad guys are T1000s. So it moves the game forward, and the original Terminator game was actually really good. We had a bunch of people look through it this weekend. I had it at NorwestCon with me. See, so £14, $18 gets you the PDF. So if you've already got the Terminator game, you can hop in with the T2 PDF only. $50 gets you the T2 Judgment Day source, the PDF and the hardback. Kickstarter exclusive gets you the T2 Judgment Day Iced T1000 exclusive cover. See if they've got a picture of that exclusive cover. That's the quick start guide from the original one. Where is... Oh, this is the dice tray, but that's the iced T1000 cover. So you get the iced cover, the PDF, the Terminator dice tin set, the T1000 iced T1000 dice tray, and that's for $100. It's not bad, especially if you've already got the original game. Then you can do for $150 the Uncle Bob. It's cute how well they pulled from the movies. You get the T2 Judgment Day Sourcebook hardback, PDF, the Terminator hardback and PDF, Campaign hardback and PDF, the dice tray, the tin set, and all appropriate. So, I don't know whether you get the regular dice or the metal dice, because it just says Terminator dice set. So, I'm assuming it's the regular ones, because this is the metal ones from the first campaign. But the first one's really good, really well put together, and I want this one to do well as well. So it goes for 9 more days. Let's see. Just want to briefly talk about this one. This one also has 9 days to go. I love how it says Tacoma, Washington, because that's technically where we're based. But Catalyst Games doesn't have a home. Like they legit don't have like a central office. They all work from home and have for years. So Catalyst Games, the people live all over North America. I don't think they have any. But if you're into BattleTech, this is an awesome thing to get. There's so much stuff in this. I'm not going to go over the cost. This is the miniatures end of the game, not the RPG end of it. But I will 100% say that if you get into the MechWarrior RPG, playing the BattleTech miniatures game is really awesome, and is a great way to really flesh out some of the cool stuff you can do in the RPG. I love how you can just, you can play the RPG leading up to this big, awesome battle, play the battle, and then go back into RPG mode. So they're doing great. $5.3 million. I really hope they do even more. Love BattleTech. Love that it's seeing some love again. And more people are playing. Let's see. Forgery. So this is the last day we're going to talk about this one. They're at over 11,000, which I think is awesome. They're past their flexible goal. Always leery of flexible goals, but they've surpassed their flexible goal. So they're going to get their cool game out here. Now, I always tell game designers, careful on doing mechanics for the sake of mechanics, because you get people like, oh, I've got a great idea, and then mechanic doesn't really, it ends up disappearing somewhere down. Well, this one, because it is all art forgery and horror, they have this really cool paint by numbers thing. I don't know how it's going to really take effect in the game, but really excited to sit down and tinker with it, because this could be a really just totally different way to play an RPG with people. Probable upcoming events for the library. So thank you, Lackey, for sharing those. So yes, we do have Geek Extravaganza later this month. Small little event up in Everett, Washington on April 22nd. We're trying to organize some cool stuff with Vernon Wells in Kirkland, Washington. If you don't know who Vernon Wells is, they are a awesome geek club. So it's a club that you can pay membership to, and basically the facilities are open 24 hours a day to members. So you get a badge and you can hop on in and check out all the different awesome stuff that's going on. So we're going to try to do monthly one-shots. It's going to give an opportunity for GMs that are coming in to help us out, so we just don't throw them to the wolves at an event. Because a lot of people, hey, I've GM'd, and they can be a good GM, but if you've not GM'd a one-shot at an event with people you don't know, it is definitely a sink or swim thing at first time. We've had a couple people that come and they go, hey, I want to help out, but I can't do that again. It pushes them a little too far. It taxes them a little more than they're ready. And Vernon Wells is an awesome place to go. Some great people run it. Love all the people behind it. And if we can help offer them something cool for their members and maybe get them some new members, and use them as a way to help, bridge the gap between being that GM for friends and family, or maybe your local game store, to jumping into running games at large scale events. And it's like, hey, welcome to Emerald City Comic Con. There's 100,000 people here this weekend. Hope that you can run a role-playing game for 8 people you've never met before in a room full of, several hundred other people that are all playing role-playing games as well. And we'll give you a day pass for doing this. It's we've gotten some great GMs that keep coming back, and we just want to make sure that we can help the community a little more and not break GMs. Let's see. April, we're trying to finish off all this stuff for, so coming up as Crypticon in May. So we're trying to finish all that off. Got to get the finalization for that. Evergreen Tabletop Expo, also in May. Very small, but a lot of fun. They also do some really cool awards. Gen Con in August. That's in Indianapolis. Dragonflight in Bellevue in August. Then early September is Shucks. And I had a blast at Shucks. Let's see. Late August. Let's see. Dragonflight. Yeah. And then late August is PAX West. Then Shucks. And then late September, Grit City Comic Show. And then November, PAX Unplugged. And if all works out, PAX Unplugged stuff will stay with the PAX group and get moved to be ready for setup for PAX East. So instead of having to ship the stuff back and forth, they'll hang on to a portion of the library for us, and then I just meet it, myself and some other GMs meet it in Boston to do PAX East next year. A lot of stuff going on. It is kind of bonkers, and everything's already going so fast. Let's get into what Humble Bundle has going on. This has 2 more days, I think. This is the Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy, Black Crusade, Only War bundle. So I've talked about this a bunch. If you remotely like the D10 system that Fantasy Flight put out for years, it's now coming out under Cubicle 7. They've had this up for a little while. It has 2 more days. $25 gets you so much stuff. and they've announced they have more books coming out now. It's awesome, and you get a 15% coupon. So if you buy a bunch of stuff, then you can go get a discount to get a bunch more stuff cheap from Cubicle 7, which they also have their other Warhammer 40k. They do the other Warhammer 40k RPG as well, and they do Doctor Who and some other. Oh, jeez, yeah. It's getting rough to remember what everybody's doing. This one makes me super excited. I love 13th Age. I think this is a wonderful system. Not enough people play or have tried it. So 16 days, 16 and a half days left on this. So $18 for 28 items that get you your role-playing game core book, 13 True Ways, Lions and Tigers and Owlbears, 13th Age Bestiary 2, the soundtrack for 13th Age, Book of Demons, Shadows of Edolen, Book of Loot, Book of Ages, Shards of Broken Sky, Loot Harder, love that, it's a Book of Treasure, the 13th Age Bestiary, GM Screen, and Resource Guide, couple map folios, Crown of Axis, Book of the Underworld, Elven Towers, a press voucher. Oh, what is this? Oh, get 25% off your next print purchase from Pellegrin Games. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Crown Commands and Color Map Folio. Adventures Bundle. Characters Bundle. There's just keeps going. And 13th Age is super cool. I absolutely suggest people, if you've not tried it, this is a great way to jump into the system. Pick up a ton of stuff. Learn the game, and you're not out the price of you're out less than the price of a freaking book regularly. I mean, the PDF of this is regularly more than $18, so you can get a ton of stuff and play in a really, really well crafted world in a really unique game system, because it does not play the same way as D&D at all. Well, let me read their little thing. From our friends at Pellegrin Press comes this amazing bundle of award-winning 13th Age RPG books. Jumps into a focused role-playing experience that emphasizes clarity, so you and your playgroup can build unique characters for fun, fast-moving D20 combat with the main book, 13th Age role-playing game, its expansions, so it doesn't really break down. But trust me on this one. This is super-duper cool. I would like to see more people playing this. It is a great system, great world, and a lot of fun. I would like to see more people playing it. This is something I actually want to get some GMs on board to learn, because it's just one of those ones I do want to see more people play. It's such a neat game. Let's see, and our final page, our bundle of holding. For the last few months, this is where we end the show, but it is several tabs. So, first up here is Mongoose Classic Play. So, for $10, you get Classic Play, 8 source books. The Book of Adventuring, Dragons, Encounters, Hell, Immortals, The Plains, The Sea, and Strongholds. That's a lot of books from Mongoose. Mongoose makes all kinds of awesome add-ons. And then if we go up to $18.25, you get all those. You get those 8 books. So those 8 books is 2,064 pages for $10. And if you double it, you get those 8 books, plus you get 3 expert players guides, Renegade Wizard Spellbook, Renegade Cleric's Tome, and Epic Monsters. So this is all for D20. So basically D&D 3.5. And with that, it should be easy to convert to original first edition Pathfinder. Let's see. Seas of Bloods, 3 gods. Seas of Blood, Ships of War, and Ships of Goblinoids. Ooh, I like the last one. Monsters Encyclopedia, 2 volumes. Ravagers of the Realms and Dark Bestiary. And 2 Infernal Heart handbooks. Fring, which I think the library actually has that book, and I love that cover, and Zahak. Oh, darn it. I was hoping that they'd show that a bigger image of that. That didn't help. So, I love the stuff that Mongoose puts out. Let's see. So, this only has 44 minutes left. I'm not going to go over it again. This is Goodman Games D&D 4th edition. They $18 gets a bunch of really cool stuff, and if you go up to $30, you get a bunch more stuff. I know a lot of people didn't like 4th edition D&D. It was not a bad game. It just wasn't a great D&D. And Goodman Games did a lot of really good stuff to make it a much better game and system. So, if you still like 4th edition, this is a great add-on for you. Let's see. So this is Clement Sector 3E, the 3rd edition core book, source books, and ship design. So starter collection is $17.95. So you get Clement Sector 3E. The year is 2043 and adventure awaits. Then you get diverse roles, 21 career tracks for the Clement Sector, Unmerciful Frontier, and 4 Clement Sector ship guides. And then if you go up to $36.46, you get those books, plus you get Port of Entry, starports for the Clement Sector, 3 subsector source books, the Colonies, Sequoia, and the Hub, and then 5 background books, Manhunters, Outlaws, Skull and Crossbones, Tree of Life, and Wondrous Menagerie. So, lots of material, and I've only taken a quick dive through the core rulebook, so I can't talk about actually playing it, but this is a pretty neat looking independent space opera RPG. So think Babylon 5-ish. Yeah, Babylon 5, but generic. Let's see, and then science fiction maps. I know a lot of people thought this one was very cool. This one has a week left, so $15. You get 5,000 megabytes of space maps, plus another 4,000 megabytes of space maps, ship maps, and then you get 850 megabytes of alien megastructures. Then if you go up to $31.37, you get another 8,000 megabytes of maps in the desert planet, and then the planet sites is 6 more maps of almost 6,000 megabytes. So all in total, you get 23 gigabytes of maps. So this is over 5 gigs. This is roughly 8 gigs. This is just under a gigabyte. This is right around 4 gigabytes. This is right around 5 gigabytes of maps. That is bonkers. That means they're either massive maps or they're just in stunning details. So, any virtual tabletop that lets you upload these, you'll have a lot of awesome maps that you can use for a while. And for $30, getting massive detailed maps is awesome. And more Mörk Borg. I did a lot of talking this weekend. So, this is third-party Mörk Borg stuff. So, $15. You get into Gallenbeck Sacrifice, Mörk Borg Tale of Lost Memories and Omens of Doom, Thork Borg and 5 supplement. Thork Borg, Borg Cathorg, Faces of the Crowd, Misery Me, Deuces, Bum Runner's Arsenal, and 7 Strangers. Dire Mutterings, and Crucy's Cursed Chapbook. And then if you go up to $30.09, you get 3 Borgian source books, 5 Cthorkborg investigations, A Wizard's Dying Wish, and Borkborg, which is all about the good boys in the baddest times. Borkborg is much needed expansion to address that drastically improves the quantity and variety of dog options in Morkborg. 12 dog breeds, some of them even canine. 8 items for use with or by dogs. New classes, the Hermetic yes, whose bond to hounds lends them power. 6 mini classes and complete rules for playing as a dog. And a shotgun scenario, Kennels of Gallenbeck, to jumpstart dog-based or dog-adjacent campaigns. Honestly, it's worth it just to get Bork Bork. Bork 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 Bork. Okay, I need to go while I still have mental faculties and have a voice. So it was wonderful chatting with you all. I hope you saw some stuff. There was some great news. I do want as many of you to go out and look at the Orc draft license. Again, remember it is a big, broad-ranging license to cover sharing mechanics, not individual things. So doesn't need consent or any of that. This is legit just so that you can release your game and other people can share your core mechanics, not your world. That's a whole different specific licensing element. So when you look through it, please remember that. Not specific licensing, generic mechanic licensing. This is to help the industry work together and grow. Cool semi-board RPG board game to get all your non-RPG friends into playing RPGs. Twilight Imperium's getting an RPG in a few weeks. You can download the core Universal game engine from Chaosium that powers all their games. Free RPG Day has moved. It is no longer on June 17th. It'll be June 24th. And upcoming cool game, Gorgeous Fantasy RPG. And then we got into Kickstarters and talked about this one a bunch, the Book of Extinction. Hey, look, they got another one. And another one. So, until next time, everyone, you have a great day, and go game with some people. Get out there, and sit down around a table and create some awesome memories and do some collaborative storytelling. Whether it be just because you want to spend time with people, or you want to heal, or you just need to take a walk through an imaginary world and get away from it all for a day, or for just a little bit of time. RPGs are great for you. Until next time, the library is now closed.